The mysterious diminished fourth. Major and minor thirds happen in root position major chords. These two traditional intervals are quite common. Most people understand them easily, so we can use these terms freely. But both these intervals can be rewritten. The minor third turns into an augmented second, and we have already covered that. The major third often turns into a diminished fourth, and it usually happens in an augmented chord. So I am calling this diminished fourth the mysterious diminished fourth because an augmented chord always has a somewhat mysterious sound to it. We choose either a major third or a diminished fourth by the look of the chord. If the top note of our augmented chord is black, we write it either way. If the top note is white, we avoid sharps and flats whenever possible. This is especially true when we end up with a double sharp or a double flat. So always remember that the mysterious diminished fourth is dynamically linked to the augmented chord. Since the beginning of 2024, viewership on this channel has fallen down to something like 10% of what it used to be. I am doing everything possible to try to find out why that is, but so far I have had no luck. It would be extremely helpful to me to get feedback from people who are listening to find out what is going wrong. Are the videos too long? Are they too short? Has something changed in the world? Currently, a possible ban of Tic Tac has been delayed, and perhaps if it is bought by a U.S. company, then the ban will be eliminated. But how does a ban affect what I'm doing? How does such a possible ban of the platform impact what is going on in YouTube? It certainly does not seem to be helping. My impression so far, which may be wrong, is that people jump from one venue to another searching for interesting things. This is certainly what I do. I have a feeling that censorship hurts everyone. The present emphasis on shorts seems to be that no one wants to view anything longer than about a minute. I understand that. I don't like going long on any subject until I first find out that I am interested. Just a minute of my time gives me an opportunity to figure out if I want to go longer. If I do something for a minute and I really like it, then maybe I'm ready to commit to 5 minutes or 10 minutes or even 20 minutes. But I need that initial positive experience first. It would be wonderful to find out how many of you are liking my shorter format. I am wrestling with the YouTube algorithm. I don't know how shorter videos affect viewership. I have been told that when people monetize their channels, they have to make sure that each video is at least as long as perhaps 10 minutes. I don't know enough about the algorithm to know if this is true, so if anybody has information, please share it with me. Now getting back to what I'm doing. I have been working very hard on teaching my students this extremely difficult subject. Explaining traditional intervals really is rocket science. I have been saying this over and over again in lessons. And wow, is this hard to teach. Over the last month or so, I have discovered that only 5 of the 13 intervals within an octave present problems to all of us. And that's because these 5 intervals have no universal names and because they all have 2 different ways to be written. One of these ways is more common than the other, but the less common way happens a lot and becomes very important. I wish that I could reform the world. I would love to replace these names with my own names. But we can't change the world, and we have to be able to communicate with other musicians. And since there are only 3 universal names in existence, we have no choice but to master these 5 complicated intervals. With this interval, I have completed 2 of these problematical intervals. That means there are 3 to go. The extra talk at the end of this video will probably be a one-time thing for instructional videos. I just hope that I will finally get some feedback. I really need to know who is listening. I need to know from my students who is learning from this, and I also need to know if I am reaching other people besides my students. If I am not reaching other people, then I'm going to have to stop making these videos in the future.